I'll come back. 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 I'll come back.
One job.
Okay. Ulk,
You press
All
a
right.
button.
I am seeing that we're live. I'm seeing that we're live.
Cool. 5, 4. Fucking 5. Hello and welcome to the Barcast, where the bar gets lower every single week. All you wonderful viewers. Your bartender for this evening will be a non-pencil.
Oh god, I was drinking in the middle of that. Why did you have to time it so well?
Enigmatic Otaku.
Cheetos on top of mayonnaise.
Milk.
No, we're not doing Cheetos.
Ravage.
Leon.
Yeah. Okay. My name is Flutter Priest, and this week we have a very special guest for you as we've gone around to various conventions and hitting up the local scenes. There's one particular individual that just smote us with his charm, grace, and fluffy pillows. We have
Are
Waffles.
you sure?
What up? Oops.
Were you trying to say we were smitten with Waffles? Is that what you were going for?
But me, an intellectual, smoked.
Okay.
I have been smoted.
Please continue before I strangle you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching this week. We are live on Twitch right now. You can ask all sorts of questions. We have a drinking word this week. It is by the name of Daki. That is the name of the word. Whenever you hear the word Daki, be sure to take a nice, healthy drink at home. Please do not kill yourself. That is a good thing.
No dying allowed. It's in our rules.
Also, if you missed this cast or any of the previous casts we've had before, including people on the MLP staff, please check us out on iTunes, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, and all the normal places where you digest your podcast stuff. 100% of our proceeds go to charity, but let's get on to what we do here. We are streaming live on Twitch, so we have questions for our guests that come into the chat. Pencil war example of questions we do not ask our guests.
Our guest says he's pretty chill with anything, so we're going to test the limits of that, so feel free to ask that question. But in the meantime, please do not ask him questions that have to do with religion or politics or incriminating things or anything like, I don't know, where do you live? What's your address? What's the name of your job? We're really not trying to dox anyone here, kids. Let's not do it. And if you do that, I'm just going to ignore you or ban you, so don't fucking do it.
Actually, just to note, you could, if you go to my website, dakimakuradreams.com, I think that, the website actually gives you an accurate satellite positioning of where my business is, which also happens to be my house.
Wow.
We're not gonna do that here, though. If they do that on their...
saying that, but, you can...
I'm just gonna flip.
No, if they do that on their own time, that is your fault now, not ours. Responsibility. Don't sue us, you fucker. Anyway, let's continue.
So you're saying I can stop by for waffles in the morning, right?
If you really want.
It's time for Waffles to get a P.O. box and have it be the return address on all this shit.
Oh, man.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
We already have a question. We already have a question from the chat, just so you
go
know.
for it.
Hey, Waffles.
Hey, me.
How big is your pillow poker?
How big?
How big is my pillow poker?
Yes, your peen. How big is the peen? Our viewers always ask this, and they want to know how big your dick is.
I think I'm at 5.5 inches wide.
Wide. Okay, that's
Scientific as fuck.
I am a scientist in real life, just so you know.
Nice.
So is this circumference or diameter?
Yes.
This would be
Or
diameter.
radius. It can always
Well,
be the radius.
it's radius, 5 inches radius.
That'd be 11 inches diameter, but unfortunately, no. I'm not that ridiculous.
Did you measure
Hey.
your dick using Avogadro's quadrant?
Avogados quadrant. Avogados.
Avocado
Avocado's
squadron.
number is 6.626 times 10 to the power of 26 or something like that. I don't think Avocado's constant really applies, unless if it's talking about like the molarity and density of my dick. At which point it would get pretty
Got
complicated.
malaria?
Like, that it's made of carbon, nitrogen, all those things.
Let's not get into the amount of moles of hydrogen in your dick.
Well, we're going to ask more about your scientific endeavors later without getting too specific, but first, I know that Priest wants to ask you some really basic-ass questions.
Yes, let's start this out on the right foot and not just immediately get into the troll questions that people ask. Let's start with the very, very basics. Waffles, who are you and what do you do in the fandom?
I'm Waffles, hello. No, I'm a vendor. I design a lot of shit. If you've been to any of the Charlie Cons, Ponyville Cider Fest, MLP MSP, or Winnie City PonyCon, and you've seen their plushies, I designed and make those, actually. Though, like, what I'm mostly known for would be my Dakimakuras. So, like, my Dakis, I'm from Southeast Asia, is my heritage, and out where I am, Dakis are a regular thing. It's called bantal guling in our language. And like when I get married, my wife is actually expected to bestow me one. I've grown up with Dakis my entire life. So I decided, hey, let's make some Dakis, bring them to like pony conventions, whatever, haha. Joke's on me, I sold out in like the first day of my first pony convention, and like I've just been trying to introduce like Daki culture to North America because I found out like, oh man, when I first started doing this, like back in like 2011, a lot of people gave me a lot of shit. Like they're like, wow, this is like absolute degeneracy. Like you're the worst. Like why are you doing this? Where like I'm used to, like being a kid. Like I had these all my life. This is a normal thing. What are you talking about? And so it's weird seeing the culture actually shift from when I first started to nowadays. Where nowadays, like Dakis are a pretty regular thing. It's like almost like a rite of passage for a lot of, young convention goers to just buy a Daki.
When you say Dakis, are you do you mean these Dakis?
Oh my gosh, you can't see that.
He can't see. He can't see them. It's a picture of Enigma literally laying in a pile of your Dakis.
That's literally all of mine. Yeah, you were at BabsCon. You were on my couch. Hell yeah.
I was on your couch.
Yeah, for some context, I try to have, like, the stupidest thing I can bring to a convention. So this previous BabsCon, I just brought a couch and, like, brought 50 pillows. I brought, like, I think about 90 plushies and 20 blankets. And so I just, like, made the ultimate pillow fort in my little corner.
It's
Nice.
It's so awesome. Like, it's hard to miss, and you're so approachable at vending at cons. Obviously, you've had a lot of different experiences related to vending at conventions and Dakimakura creation that I'm sure we'll be getting to later on. But what actually got you into the fandom?
Oh man, like, I had a friend who just told me about, like, My Little Pony, and, I remember the exact day I decided to watch all of the horse show, actually. And that day was February 29th, 2012. I remember it being leap year day because, hey, I had an extra day. It was like a weekend, also didn't have school. Might as well watch the horse show, and then whoops, here I am.
Whoops. All right, then what actually keeps you here in the fandom? Would you say that it's obviously cold hard cash from the sweet money you make at cons, but as far as like actually enjoying the fandom, would it be like fan fiction, just the show itself, art?
I think for me, like, I mean, first off, like, the life of a vendor isn't as glamorous as you think it is. I am poor all the time because I have to, like, buy more inventory and make more shit. So, like, man, we don't really make that much money. But on the, like, in terms of why I'm still around, I think it's definitely the people, the community. Like, the show preaches friendship is magic, all that shit or whatever. and like having met all these wonderful people, I've made so many friends all across the globe. A couple of fellow horse vendors are actually here. They just like heart-shaped signed at me. But yeah, like I wouldn't be traveling across all of Freedom Land, America, mooching off all of my friends if it wasn't for this.
Aw. Gotta love mooching off your friends.
Oh, it's the best. Like, mooching off your friends is definitely the most magical of this all.
So, the next question is, do you, well, I suppose it's kind of strange to ask something along the lines of, like, if you have followers or fans, how often do you typically get, like, repeat or, like, regular purchasers at your actual vendor? Do you, like, can you count on that you have, like, oh, that dude's coming and he's going to get 5 Dakis every con?
Oh, there's definitely one particular gentleman. I won't say his name, but he's Japanese and he goes to BabsCon every year. He's a wonderful gentleman, and like every year, he always excitedly comes up to my booth. It's incredibly cute. And I'm always honored that like he always keeps coming back to me in particular. And he's like, "Oh, hello and Lotus," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me like show you about this." And like it's to the point where I made the Poniko Dakimakura just for him actually.
Aw.
Yeah, so I was like, "Oh, thank you, Japanese friend. Like you really mean a lot to me. Here, have a token of my friendship." And it's not necessarily that he buys a lot from me every year, but he always comes back, and he's always somebody that I always remember. And I see his Twitter posts about like he's like, "I just got back from San Francisco. I'm so thankful for all of my American friends," and to me like that's just the sweetest thing.
Aw.
Plot twist. He's not going for the Dakis. He's going for you.
Aw.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, like maybe the secret is that he doesn't want to buy the Dakis. He wants to buy your love.
I know, like that's not very expensive, honestly.
Buy you Waffles. I gotta know what buys your love and affection.
Honestly, probably just your love and affection back. I'm like, I don't know, like I'm a pretty gross romantic.
I'm gross romantic here. I mean, you sell Dakis. How gross are we talking?
As in, somebody recently professed their love to me and wrote me a poem, and my goodness, like my heart just melted, and we're now in a relationship. Whoops.
Ah, that's so nice.
It's so
Are
nice.
they nice?
That
Are they nice?
It's so nice that you and Japanese guy are getting along. Then.
Oh yeah, Japanese guy's the best.
So, what sort of advice or suggestions would you give to people who may be interested in buying Dakimakura but have too much of like the stigma of surrounding them, or are thinking about picking one up for the first time and just don't want to get something they wouldn't be happy with?
Well, first off, like, understand like what you're getting, and like as in. The way I see Dakimakura is that they're essentially a cheap giant plushie. Like, how much does a custom plushie cost? Like $200 for a tiny crappy one, and expect to pay like up to $7,000, for example, for a Naz plushie. That'll be 36 inches. A Dakimakura is like $100, and it's gonna be just as big and it's soft. And it's just quite frankly just comfortable to sleep with. I don't know about you guys, but I grew up with Dakis all my life. I legitimately struggle to sleep without one.
Wait. You grew up with them all your life? Are these
Yeah,
like you
when
have
I was
body
born,
pillows?
when I was born, my parents gave me a small body pillow. They gave me another when I outgrew that when I was 6, and another when I was 10. I still have the same Daki that I have when I was 10. I recently got a new one 2 weeks ago. To replace that one, but I'm still keeping that one from when I was 10 years old, like, under my bed.
So when did they start taking on faces and shapes, though?
So this would be, like characters and stuff like that. That would be more of a, Japanese phenomena. Like the Dakis that I had when I was young, they had like cute patterns of like multiple teddy bears marching in a marching band kind of design all over.
Yeah.
So like, like when popular characters come out or whatever, it's like whatever, put the popular character on the pillow and you can hug the popular character.
Aw. Well,
and like I think of that as pretty wholesome, honestly.
Yeah,
you
no.
make it sound very wholesome rather than, like you've had sex with these pillows, which I'm assuming you have.
No, actually. Like, I mean, I do sleep
cool.
naked. Like,
Yeah,
my junk does rub up against the pillow because I do sleep naked. But like what do I insert my junk into? It's too wide. It's as we spoke of before. It's 5.5 inches in diameter.
It's
So
avocado
when you-
squadron.
Oh my God, stop. So that's when you get own a hole and you position it like in the pillowcase and then you do that.
You could, or that's a lot of effort. You could just get yourself a girlfriend or boyfriend.
Sounds like that sounds like more effort and it sounds more expensive in the long run.
Yeah, it sounds a lot more expensive.
It depends. I don't know. Like, find yourself a sugar daddy, and that's like the opposite of expensive.
True, I can vouch.
For some reason,
Nice.
this gave me the imagery of Buffalo Bill, but instead of making a woman suit, he's making woman Dakis.
Okay, now, last but not least, before we start going to the user questions, who's best pony, Waffles?
Personally, my favorite's Octavia. I'm always into Earth ponies. I don't know. I prefer an pure pony. I don't want to look at a pony that's like had sex with a bird or had sex with a narwhal. So Earth ponies, I guess for me is I'm just like I'm a little racist, I guess, but Octavia being my favorite, mostly because she's a classy mare.
So,
Yeah.
if it had sex with a narwhal and it had sex with a bird, no. But if it had sex with the mud, that's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. We came from the Earth. We're gonna go back into it probably.
I'm just envisioning changelings having sex with Swiss cheese.
They just become more holy.
Damn right they're holy. I'll pray to that. Now then,
Hey.
we got questions out in our question thread. We're going to go out to Terry the Human, who is the first poster. Question number 1 is, what is your favorite and least favorite MLP episode?
Oh man, this is hard. Favorite perfect pair, because I am a gross romantic person.
Aww.
Least favorite, oh man. I think it was probably one of the more recent ones. It's Pinky playing that stupid instrument from Yak Yakistan.
Oh.
Yep.
It's a Villa phone or something phone.
Yeah. So like my my problem with it is like, so Pinky's playing this fucking instrument, and it's like everybody's like, oh Pinky, this is awful. What are you doing? And Pinky's like, oh, I'm so sad I can't play this instrument. Yeah, you can play this instrument. Just like don't go to Fluttershy's fucking animal sanctuary at 2 a.m. and play loud music. I think they're teaching the wrong lesson. They should be teaching there's a time and place for everything, rather than you can be an obnoxious piece of shit.
To be fair, her friends
don't
did say,
make me happy.
Pinky, to be fair, her friends did say, Pinky, we don't think you're going to get any better, so we'd like it if you stop playing altogether. Just saying, that's pretty shitty.
It's true, but this, we're supposed to be teaching lessons and stuff, and I think the lesson of there's a time and place for everything is much better than do whatever stupid thing that you want to do because it makes you happy, regardless of people's happiness around you. I mean, I guess our autism speaks to that for us liking ponies, but the thing is we're not actively hurting anybody else by liking ponies.
So what you're saying is that episode is a euphemism for us, where Pinky is the bronies and the Zaffiddlephone is the show.
Enigma, say euphemism with me. Here we go.
And that's why
Euphemism.
we are filleting the show all the time.
It's true.
Euphemism.
There you go. You got it right. Fucking
I have been saying it right.
Euphemism! Euphemism! You've been doing euphemism! And it's been awful, and I wanted to strangle you! Oh my fucking god! How is it that somebody... Okay,
You have not been using enough Avocado Squadron.
Shut the fuck up,
We're moving to
Robert.
number 2. Love you guys. Oh my god. Number 2. What is your favorite memory as a brony, Waffles?
Oh boy. I think it was probably out in like Canada where I am, we have a meetup we have 2 meetups every week actually. One on Saturday, which is the standard meetup at the mall, and then one on Tuesday, which is our Taco Tuesday meetup at the taco place. And I remember I used to host the Taco Tuesdays every week, and at one point there was a young gentleman, I'll call him Jackie, I don't know. So Jackie, I was moving far away actually. I was going to somewhere else to go to school, and Jackie says like, "Can I keep hosting these? It really means a lot to me, and thank you for hosting these for all these years. I wouldn't be where I am without what you've done for us." And it was at that moment that I realized that like everything I do is out of sheer love for this community, and the community has given so much to me that I want to do everything I can to make as much as I can to give back to the community as much as I can, because to kind of spread what this community has done for me and to pass it forward, give it on to other people.
That's amazing. That's so heartfelt and wonderful. Just like, see, like people get weird sometimes that like, oh, maybe maybe I haven't really heard of X person or Y person, but really it's people like you in the fandom that really kind of help the fandom go round. If that makes sense. Like you guys keep it as great as it is.
I just make hot garbage and try and spread it around.
I don't know about that.
No. At least it's hot garbage. It could be ugly garbage, but you make it hot, honey. So don't worry.
It's true. At least it's not lukewarm, because like at that point it's just kind of tepid and gross.
I was gonna say he makes wonderful Canadian themed drinks, but hey.
I mean that too.
To be fair, now tepid garbage to me sounds actually much worse than hot garbage. I'm serious. Tepid garbage sounds really gross. So.
At what temperature is garbage at peak disgustingness?
Tepid. I think it is tepid.
I want to say like 3 degrees below like body temperature, so when you touch it, it doesn't feel quite right.
Oh God, I hate it. Thanks.
Tepid Garbage is the name of my wooden toaster cover band.
Right, fucking A. Okay, cool. Yes, priest, do the thing.
Glazed garbage. All right, number 3. Who is worst, Zephyr Breeze or Spoiled Rich?
I want to say Zephyr Breeze initially. So, like, to me, I'm a firm believer of not sucking, I guess, is the best way for me to kind of explain it. Anybody can accomplish amazing things as long as they apply themselves, they put themselves to do a thing. You listen to amazing musicians or whatever, and you like say, or you hear people say, "Wow, they're so talented." In my like firm opinion, like they're not necessarily sure that like there's a little bit of talent and that helps a little bit, but you haven't listened to this person practice singing every day for their entire life for 20 years. So like they got good at it. Zephyr Breeze, I think, is the worst because Spoiled Rich is like, I don't know what she does. She probably does a thing and she probably does it quite well. But my problem with Zephyr Breeze throughout the early parts of the episode, is that, he wouldn't apply himself because, as soon as something got just a little hard, he gave up. And, and to me, that's the most disgusting part. I'm a firm believer of anybody can, do anything. You just got to apply. And quitters and like people who just laze around and do absolutely nothing, I think are like my biggest bane. because I've definitely been there before. I've had like an entire month where I did absolutely nothing. I felt awful, and I'm like, wow, what did I contribute at all? Whereas now I'm trying to like keep myself as busy as possible at BabsCon. I vended, I ran a party, I bartended for that party. I put together an extra quote small mini convention unquote at the con, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good at doing any of those things, I don't think. But the fact that I did it immediately makes me, I mean, not necessarily better than people, but like better than like 98% of the population because I did a thing.
You're lapping the
laziness.
people who are on the couch.
Yeah. So like, it's I guess like artists I think is the biggest way for me to see this actually, because there are lots of talented artists who just don't draw.
You still talking
Like,
about Zephyr Breeze?
Shoddy and finished is much better than like perfect but like not really completed. So like Zephyr Breeze to me, like as a symbol of like laziness and quitting as soon as things get a little bit hard, I think is like the biggest sin, quote unquote.
Wow. Okay, that's actually a really well in-depth answer that I'm surprised that we have on the show. Good job. Let's see. Number 4. What is your favorite ships from the show?
Big Mac and every single mare. I want Big Mac to have a giant hecking harem and impregnate every single like mare in Ponyville.
The hecking harem, yes.
He really does work with everyone.
He really does. Like he is technically like, I mean, have you read the comics? Like,
Yeah,
hecking like Fleetfoot just falls for him. He's like, excuse me, I'm busy, and like he just radiates so much big dick energy that like I'm obsessed with you, and he's like, I'm looking for a flower, bitch, or like some hammers. Come on, where's this hammer?
No,
Yeah, like, as the saying goes, hammers before hose.
he was looking for nails, so he could nail them
Nails.
all.
I'm sorry. There we go.
All right. Number 5. How much of a Mary Sue is Flurry Heart?
My problem is that she's not a Mary Sue, because like Mary Sues have to kind of undergo this like weird transformation / characterization of suffering to kind of suddenly get that kind of power, and Flurry Heart's like not at all aware of the shit that's going around her. She just happens to be super powerful, and that's fine.
But that's the definition of a Mary Sue, that they don't work for anything. They have their powers now. She's also a superhero. Ta-da! Done! And everyone loves her. The end. That's what a Mary Sue is.
Well, what
Does
if
everybody really love her? And also I mean, in terms of a like just sheer power and like no effort put into it, sure, she's a Mary Sue. But like emotionally, is she a Mary Sue?
Everything is always fixed in 2 seconds when she's around. Everything is good. Everyone is happy around her.
No,
Everyone loves
like,
her.
No, she cried and like she bitched she was a baby, and like suddenly everything was wrong, and people are like, what the fuck is with this baby? This is awful. This baby is the worst. So like I would argue that she's not a Mary Sue. And like it's like, oh, we want to love you, but we don't. Compared to like with Mary Sue, it's like, oh, we don't want to love you, but we have to because you put like loving hypnotism on us or whatever.
I now really want to read a story where everyone hates the baby and everyone's afraid to say it, and then someone finally says it, and they're all like, oh my god, thank you! Like, I want this. I want this so much.
So what you guys are saying is that Cadence should give Flurry back to Faust. Wow.
Swing and a miss. Number 6. Is Flurry Heart a demon from hell?
I mean, I would argue that she's technically a parasite, because like any baby that was born was parasitic in their mother's womb for like months on end. I don't think she's a demon. I'm not quite sure how magic and demon terminology works, but we found out that like even demons like in Tartarus can end up being quite pleasant in the Pony Show. So I'm not quite sure how you define a demon and what hell would be in this context either.
Fair enough. Number 7. Which is the better story, My Little Dashi or Cupcakes?
Personally, like, again, I'm a gross romantic. I like sad, slice of life, romance, sappy kind of shit. I'm almost tempted to say My Little Dashi, because it does take you throughout, what's essentially fatherhood. There's somebody who's like missing something in their life. They raise this pet child, whatever thing it is, and like they grow because of it, and and that moment of letting Dashi go is like a wonderful sign of loving something so much that you're willing to let it go. So the symbolism isn't lost on me at My Little Dashi, and I do really appreciate that. When it comes to Cupcakes, I appreciate the like hard hitting visceral moments of like, please don't do this to me. I thought you were my friend. So I guess it really depends. Like, are you talking about like technical written? I think both of them evoke the emotion that they're trying to evoke out of a person, and therefore both have accomplished what they're trying to do as a story.
Well said. Number 8. What do you think of the ponies with freckles, like Applejack and Pear Butter?
I like real life people with freckles, so cute, yes.
So do I. So do I.
Number 9. If you were a pony in Ponyland, who would you befriend?
It depends. Like, why would I want to try and befriend people? Am I trying to, climb myself up to the top of the ladder? Am I trying to maximize happiness? So me myself, like, I guess I'd be trying to like maximize happiness. I'd want to be surrounded by like people who are probably like mature enough to maintain a relationship and like be adults about things, and also like be able to support other people in their own endeavors. So excuse me. I would appreciate the Cutie Mark Crusaders with them being able to like go like, hey, you're a great friend. We really support what you do, and we want you to succeed and be happy at what you do. So that would definitely be a big plus in the happiness department, probably. Despite them being young, but like even young people can be very mature. And then probably, I'd want to say probably Lyra and Bonbon, out of sheer like, it would be both very boring and very interesting to befriend them. They're both reasonably mature, but shenanigans always ensues around them. So I'd probably be happy around those kinds of friends.
Awesome. We don't have access to pictures just yet, so I'm going to skip number 10 for now. Instead, I will replace it with, if you had to introduce Dakimakura to Equestria, how would you go about it?
I don't know. I think I think it'd be something I'd be passionate about enough to just already want to make and introduce in the first place anyways. Like, I'd maybe find my cutie market or whatever. I don't know. Open a store like Sofas and Quills. I don't know. Dakis and Derriers. No, that's not a good one.
No, that is. That's a great one. What are you fucking talking about? Selling butt fun and Dakis. Do it.
You can call it D&D, Dakis and Derriers.
Oh, well, there you go. But I'd probably just like do exactly what I do right now, like open a store, try and be happy, try to share my passion with everybody else, and other people might not necessarily share that passion with me, and that's okay.
Wait, now I think about it, don't Dakis already exist in Equestria? There was one of Derry do.
That's correct. Speaking of that One Piece, yayo, no. I'm from the place where the pony show is made. I've been roommates with people who make the show. I'm not sure if they did that to fuck with me. I'm slightly concerned, but at the same time, I don't want to ask.
Call their bluff. Make a Daki of the Daring Do tied up, like in the show.
I already
He does.
did. It's too late.
Yay!
Yay! Go get them at cons. Let's
As weird as
finish.
it sounds,
Wait.
actually, like the Daring Do one is actually one of the least popular ones I have.
Really?
Yes.
What's some of your most popular stock?
What's my most popular one?
Like, what's some of the ones that stand out to you as the most popular Dakis you sell?
Sunset Shimmer, actually, throughout the years. Like, the Pony Sunset Shimmer, Human Sunset Shimmer. I like, as weird as it sounds, like, it's really hard to say because every single con I go to, there's, like, always, like, a different pony that everybody just seems to love. One convention, like, 6 people will want one of them, and then I'll be like, I'm sorry, I've sold out, like, and they're like, oh, man. And then, like, at another convention, I'll bring the same amount of that one, and then nobody will want it.
Strange. So you almost have to kind of cover everyone's taste at the same time and just have a million different Dakis.
I mean, yeah, the solution is, like, oh, by the way, fun fact, 4 Dakis laid across horizontally is the exact equivalent of a queen-size bed.
Ooh.
Oh.
I know this because, you know, as a poor vendor, you share rooms with other people. And most of the time, you know, you won't always necessarily get a bed spot. Being a vendor who, you know, vends pillows, the floor spot's the best for me because then, you know, I have my pillow pile.
You can just drown in pillows.
It's so much. It, like, you have no idea. I sleep in luxury whenever I go to a con because, you know, I have a pillow pile to sleep on.
That's so awesome. All right, well, the next... Go ahead.
Actually,
Pencil first.
actually, before we do that, I have some questions from someone else for you, someone you know. Are you ready?
Oh, do I?
Gary Oak says that you never address him by Gary or his name. Instead, you always say, "Hey, horsefucker, why would you do something like this? Why would you do something like this?"
So he's actually local to me. He's part of what we call the Old Fags group, for a group that out where I am, out in Canada, we have a group called the BC Bronies. That's the British Columbia Bronies. And if you've been around so long that you remember one of our old meetup locations before we moved to the mall, congrats, you're part of the Old Fag group. He happened to be part around for a while. And he's probably one of the earliest people that I remember using the term horsefucker. He used it back in 2012 when we first met. And he would always start with, like, "What's up, horsefuckers?" to everybody as soon as he entered a room. So we all collectively decided that his new name was just horsefucker.
Awesome. That's awesome. Lurk more.
Like I was trying to say earlier, have you ever made a pillow fort out of your Dakis?
Yes, I have pictures. Actually, I just got home, so excuse me for a second as I... could you give me about 30 seconds? I'm going to disconnect with my phone and reconnect with my laptop. Is that all right?
Sure thing.
Sure.
I'll be right back.
I need more Dakis, guys. Any recommendations?
That's period.
What was that?
Tits, period.
I love dragon tits, though.
Yes!
No!
No.
Rav, you're loud.
Loud Rev.
Is this
What's
better?
going on there, Waffles?
Oh, that's much
Oh
better.
no, I'm here in a house with, like, other vendors. So we just picked up alcohol and we're discussing things. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause any issue with that.
Oh, you're
No
fine.
worries.
Hashtag vendor house. I'll have to ask you more about that later if people are interested. Well, actually, no, we shouldn't do that. Never mind. Next set of questions that we have are a little bit getting away from MLP. Let's get to know you personally a little bit more.
Sure.
Number one, what's your favorite non-MLP franchise?
Oof.
That's hard to say. If we're talking about like intellectual property wise, there's so many anime out there that like it's just hard for me to pick between one.
Yeah. What animes tickle your pickle?
Recently, Overlord has been one that would appeal to me. Like, who wouldn't like a like power trip fantasy of just being like super powerful?
Yeah. So then, number 2, have you made any fan-related content for MLP franchises, non-MLP franchises?
Yes. Before I was actually like. So, like, in terms of Dakimakura, I've actually been making them since, like, 2009. I've been making them for, like, a decade, but I never sold them until Pony came around. Like, so, like, I have a large collection of Hatsune Miku Dakimakuras, like, for myself.
Ooh.
Like, I have probably about a dozen of them, half of which, like, I've drawn myself. It's that bad.
Huh. Cool. Then, next is, would you like some syrup for those waffles?
Only if you'll lick it off me.
Oh, salty.
Priest, are you gonna lick it off him?
No, but I'm sure RK Striker JK5 will, who asked all those questions. The next question is from Short Skirts and Explosions. His question is, what doth life?
What doth like?
What doth life?
Whoa. Apparently it's like 1/10 of 420 Blaze It, so 42, something like that.
Oh shit! That's... Oh, we just got meme inception right there. I wasn't ready for that.
That's like ancient memes too. That's Hitchhiker's Guide era memes. That's ancient.
Yes.
But he like hit the dab.
420 Blaze It.
He hit the dab on it though.
Hey.
Christ. Okay.
All right, Moose Tasm is up next. He says that these questions have not been approved by the FDA as a part of a balanced waffle-filled breakfast. Number 1, if you went to Equestria, would it be a vacation spot or permanent residence?
I like Pony. I like the idea of Ponyville or maybe Manhattan, mostly because again those are Earth Pony dominated cities. I mean, I guess I'm from Vancouver, so Vancouver. My problem is like there would be a lot of Asians there, and that'd be awful.
Do ponies even have the pony equivalent of Asians?
I guess the Kirin. I don't know.
Kirin or Asian, I think that counts.
So I guess Vancouver would be a Kirin-dominated city.
Yeah, I mean, it actually makes sense. You know, when they get angry, they burn things and riot.
Oh, perfect.
Oh my god.
Sorry, it's not like I've forgotten the Stanley Cup Finals with the Vancouver Canucks, and nor will I ever do so.
Oh boy. You should come up to
Yay!
Vancouver
Anyway.
again sometime. Like, I'll make sure you don't have an awful. I'll try and make sure that you don't have an awful experience.
Like, it's Vancouver, honey. Like, nice try.
It's true. Way too hecking expensive.
Speaking of heckin' expensive, number 2, it's time for some timeline shenanigans. You get to replace one piece of historical artwork, paintings, statues, literature, videos, anything in the world, with a piece of art or creation that you have made. It gets the same exposure as the original, including public showings, readings, school assignments, etc. What piece of historical art do you replace with what thing you've created, and how has history changed as a result?
Ooh, this is a difficult one. Because what kind of notoriety would I want for myself? Oh yes, I would probably replace... So, there's this Daki that I drew, and it's kind of awful. His name is Pritchard. It's literally just a stick figure. As weird as this sounds, he's like one of the most popular things I have, actually. Like, everybody consistently wants him. And it's true, he is pretty lewd, he's naked. He's like, you can see all of his hard stick-like body. like 0% body fat. I don't know what that speaks of, like for like beauty, like crazy beauty standards for men, but here we are.
Oh my god.
But I think I'd probably take Pritchard and try and replace a Jackson Pollock painting with that, and have people go like, "Wow." Like people talk about like, "Wow, look at those splatters," or whatever. What does this mean? And like, what kind of emotion are you trying to evoke from this? And the idea that like a 5-year-old's like stick figure drawing would try and evoke that kind of same emotion and notoriety to me just kind of makes me chuckle a little bit on the inside.
I like that. I like that answer. Number 3. What do you do? I hate this question. Sorry, man. What do you do when some wild-eyed, 8-foot-tall maniac grabs your neck, taps the back of your favorite head up against a barroom wall, looks you crook in the eye, and asks you if you paid your dues?
I'd probably like be incredibly aroused, furiously masturbate, and just finish on them. That's how I'd pay my due to them. If you are
answer, I like
you are
it.
just like being rough and aggressive with me, ooh, baby.
I like the answer, and Moostasm, honey. It's old.
It is old. Number 4. Waffles in the morning, waffles in the evening, or waffles at supper time.
My problem with the term supper is the term supper is used for like the last meal before you go to sleep. When do you go to sleep? Do you go to sleep at like 5 in the morning? Then technically that would almost be like morning. Like ask better questions, man. Like if you're gonna be when you say supper and evening, what does that mean? What if I go to sleep at like 8 in the evening? That means like supper and evening would be the same thing. My argument is probably lunch, I guess, because like I don't know if like people know this. It doesn't really translate very well with my voice and also not being seen. But I'm Asian. Waffles aren't really a thing that I've really eaten in my life until I started traveling, and then I'm like, oh wow, chicken and waffles. I should probably eat those. Those are tasty. And that's usually always for like brunch or something like that. So I guess waffles are probably most appropriate for brunch.
So how did you come up with the name Waffles then? If you didn't like really have waffles until you started traveling and like doing stuff for horses, I'm assuming you mean doing stuff for horses. Like,
Yes.
how did the name Waffles come to you early on then?
Odd as it sounds, Waffles is actually my high school nickname. I went to Waffles is legitimately my high school nickname, and it's literally just the mainstay. Like people have been calling me Waffles since before Pony, and I guess it just stuck and it's never left me. But I went to a very special artistic high school. It's very weird. It's a like independent learning mini school where like. Normally, with a regular high school, you have like 8 classes in total. You go to 4 classes one day, you go to 4 classes another day. Mm-hmm. Each class takes an hour and a half. With the high school I went to, it was, sure, you still need to take those 8 classes, but we have 12 slots, 6 slots the first day, 6 slots for the other. That leaves another like extra few slots here and there. Anyways, speaking of my weird high school. It was my first day there, having transferred there, and I made friends with this girl. Let's call her. Actually, it's as dumb as this sounds. Tempest was her real name.
That's awesome.
And her online handle was Shadow.
Parents had to have been hippies or some shit. Like they had to have been children
I went
of the
to a
nature.
very, very weird high school. Everybody there was like hippie dippy. I'm pretty sure a third of my classmates were always high.
That's awesome.
I remember actually talking to one of my friends. Let's call him Jazanthropus. I was like, "Hey, Jazanthropus, like you seem so much more energetic today. Like you seem like kind of like off. What's going on?" He's like, "Oh, I'm just not high today." I was like, "Oh." Anyways, so I was talking to Tempest, and we were having a discussion about blueberries and marijuana for some reason. I forgot I think she's like, oh, smell this weed I've got. It smells like blueberries. I'm like, it smells like weed. And, or something like that. And she's like, what's your name again? I'm like, Aaron. What? Would you say Waffles? I was like, what? Like, are you high? She's like, So, yeah, no, she was high, but... I said, like, hi, my name's Aaron, and she's like, oh, Waffles? I was like, well, okay, so first day of school, because it's such a small, weird school, like 100 kids, we have something called school meeting, where for every week for an hour, everybody in the school gathers into the room, and we kind of talk about what's going on, and we'll sing happy birthday to whoever's birthday it is that week. And so on the first school meeting, like, it's like, hey, like it said like the cool head teacher or whatever. We had no principal, we had a head teacher. It's like, hey kids, let's introduce ourselves. All you new kids, introduce everybody to each other. Hey, yeah. And so, like, when it finally got to me, it's like, what's your name, Sonny? And I was like, Waffles, looking straight at Tempest to make fun of her. And before I could actually correct myself and, like, tell them my actual name, he already went on to the next person. And so people just kept calling me Waffles because people didn't actually know what my name was.
That's kind of wonderful, though. Like, that's a really great way to get a nickname.
Fucking tastic. Good job, dude. What we got, Priest? What we got?
All right, it's the other guy now, and that means it's time for some questions on how does this make you feel. I've got a couple pictures here. I'm gonna post it here in the behind the counter chat for you, Waffles.
Uh-oh.
How does this picture make you feel?
Let's see. Behind the counter, there it is. Yeah, well, I think that's pretty accurate. If you inflated yourself with helium, you still wouldn't fly. You're pretty dense.
Did you read what Trixie's text says, though? Starlight, you belly is balloon, he's pea balloon, Natang's flying.
I'm mostly like confused trying to parse what that means. I
Right?
kind of appreciate how this was kind of made in MS Paint because you can see the pixelations on like they obviously used the circle tool and then use the line tool, but still use the line tool shittily so that like it's just slightly off so you can see that slight pixelation in between.
I think this is a reference to using the Mario P balloon in Super Mario World.
Ah.
Serious?
Okay, no, I get it. Yeah.
So what's trying to happen here is Trixie goes, like, you use the P balloon, but you're not flying.
Well, clearly she's just not like tapping down and up fast enough. And
I'm just wondering why she has a seam on her chest going all the way down. What's with the line? Is that a surgical scar?
So, when you get preggers, oftentimes the stretch marks made on your belly are actually a line from right below your sternum to right above your cooch. That's actually a thing that happens, Enigma. I hope you never find that out because, God willing, you'll never impregnate a woman.
No te metes con mi cucu.
It's actually just a really, really botched scar from her previous cesarean.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Oh my god. Okay, Priest, what's next?
Well, I'm going to go back to the question that we skipped earlier. What do you think of this OC?
Let's see here. That actual bat color is cute. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I like things that are like actually the colors of the things that. If you've ever looked at my horse, it's like just brown on brown on brown. Because I was like, I don't know what horse colors I want to have my like cute colorful pony to be. I'm like, what's actual horse colors? Here we go.
That color scheme of the Bat Pony foal makes me think that he's Thunder Lane's illegitimate child.
Huh. Interesting. Now then, we got questions from Alex _. What's the worst thing that you've ever put in your mouth?
Are you trying to figure out what to put in your mouth? Or are there dicks near you? Like, what's going on?
Where's the dick near me? Hey baby, you want me? Can I put your dick in my mouth?
Smegma is terrible, by the way.
Well then, this took a turn.
What the fuck is that?
Man. Oh, I guess like I was at a convention and there was somebody like cosplaying. What's it called? Like some sort of what was it? Like the MS Paint shitty comic. Like they have gray faces, the horns.
Oh, Homestucks.
Homestuck, yeah. Somebody was like,
Oh, Lord.
the Homestuck thing, and they had a bottle of green water, and I was really thirsty. I was like, dude, can I have a sip of that? And he's like, yeah, sure. Like, I thought it was like maybe Gatorade. I put a like quickly poured some into my mouth and quickly swallowed, and I immediately gagged because apparently it was just diluted paint in the water.
Oh God.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is pretty bad.
God, the least you can do is get some like mouthwash or something. I don't know, man. Oh, okay. Now then, this picture lightly broke us before we went live. Would this be a top contender for worst things that you put into your mouth? Just announced yesterday.
That appeals to me actually. Yeah, that looks really good.
The KFC Cheeto sandwich.
Yeah, hell
But
yeah.
it's got mayo on it. It's with so much mayonnaise.
I want like a double down with spicy Cheetos in the middle.
But it's got mayo.
Yeah,
Like
I
lots
love
of mayo.
mayo. Like I love that like creamy white sauce in my mouth.
We can't be friends anymore.
Also, the Cheetos would get all mushy from the grease.
Even better. Like honestly, like as weird as it sounds, like one of my favorite like fond childhood snacks I had as a kid was to take 2 saltines, spread mayo on both of them, sandwich them together to make like a weird saltine mayo sandwich, put it in the microwave for 7 seconds, and eat it warm.
I don't like these cracker cummies.
I don't like this at all. God.
Like
Please,
it's
what's the
weird
next
when you like
question?
squish
Oh,
it
God.
for just a little bit before you take a bite, so you can see the mayo just kind of seep through the hole a little bit and extrude.
Ugh.
The next question.
We're gonna drip on off to the next question. Number 3 reads, "Can we have a priest Daki made?" Which I'm gonna completely
Yes,
quit because I don't want a Daki of my OC made. Do you have
Not
you
your
made?
OC. I want one of just like you as a human priest.
Oh,
I'm tempted to just like maybe like take a picture of you and like just like
I have a good one.
like throw on like a badly like JPEG pixelated image of you on a pillow.
I can immediately think of
I
4
got this.
people either
I got
watching or putting this or in this chat room that would buy it just to mess with me.
I know, and I'm
I'd
gonna
like
go
to
get a
note
picture for
on,
you.
like-
I'll be right there.
Not to plug me or anything, but like I can make custom anything technically. Like you give me money, I'll make it. Fuck.
Nah, man, we're here to fucking plug you. Please talk about your business.
I draw Dakis and like print them. I have no fuck.
What have you done, Alex?
Oh, ooh, look at this sexy man.
Oh, this one.
Oh, God.
You wanna Waffles? Do you want to sleep naked next to this?
I've I've slept naked next to her, so it's fine.
Actually, that it's my ego a little bit. Okay. Have you had any success making and selling Dakis of like fandom OCs?
I mean, I guess Button's mom is technically one. Horsewife.
okay.
So yes, Button's mom is incredibly like popular. It's hard. Like yes, I don't know how to answer that otherwise.
Oh, fair enough. We're about halfway through the cast right here, so we're going to take a very quick second. Pencil stepped away, I believe. But
No, I'm here, you fuckhead.
we do this podcast to raise money for a horse-based charity. You guys can check out our Patreon where we are sponsoring a horse by the name of Little Bit out on Red Wings Horse Sanctuary out in California. Right now, we're able to make about enough money to keep him fed, give him some bales of hay and stuff like that. But we'd like to raise a little more money so that way he can regularly see a doctor, clean his teeth, get horseshoes changed, all that sorts of stuff. So please, if you have a few spare dollars, consider donating to the Barcast, or just continue watching our videos on YouTube without ad block, so that way we can raise more money for horse-based charity. Pencil, did I miss anything?
Yeah. Well, there's a link in the chat that you can get to for Alex, and that's fine. And we promise none of the money you give us will go to our drug habits, our alcohol habits, or anything else. It's just for the horses, I promise. And if you don't want to donate to us directly, donate to Red Wings Horse Sanctuary on their site.
Correct. And oh my god, that's another very sexy picture of me put in the chat. I am not liking where this is going.
Very nice.
Okay. We're going to Seton now for questions. Number 1, what is your favorite meal, snack, or food stuff that's really unhealthy, but oh my god, it's so good?
That's hard to say. Like, my problem isn't that I eat unhealthy, my problem is I just don't stop eating. Like, I'm the kind of asshole who goes to sushi restaurants, orders a party platter, and then will eat the entire party platter.
Girl, same. I will do that.
Actually, like I'm pretty sure most of my vendor friends can confirm that. Like, we will go for food, and I will get a ridiculous amount of food, and then I'll just say, like, okay, just watch, just wait 15 minutes. All of this will just disappear in front of you. I mean, there's a pretty good reason I'm fat.
Is it like a competitive eating thing? Like, have you?
No, I just really like eating, so like I just don't stop. It's kind of a problem. I should probably like slow down and like eat less and do more.
No, I feel you, fam. Like, I definitely don't stop eating when I should. Feel that.
Food's just delicious.
It makes the world go round.
I've once eaten like 7 lunches in a day.
Oh, nice.
This was actually at Winnie City PonyCon. Because I remember precisely getting food for myself for lunch, and then 6 of my friends going, "Hey, I know you're a vendor and you don't really get to like leave your table. Have a hot dog," or like, "Hey, I was just at Costco. Have a chicken bake. Hey, I was just at Costco. Did you know that Chicago has a special thing where they serve chili? Like, it's only in Chicago. Here, have some chili." So I had 7 lunches that day. It was Saturday at Winnie City PonyCon 2018. And yeah, it was a special time.
Dude, baller. Nice. Number 2, what is the biggest or weirdest fear that you have?
Weird? I don't think. I think it's like I have standard fears of like my parents dying, me realizing that I'm not going to be around my friends for too much longer or whatever. I guess like sharp objects near like potentially lethal places is like just makes me like shiver and feel weird. Like, you know, like when somebody's like holding a knife and it's like really close to their neck or it's really close to the wrist, I just like shiver and I'm like, ugh.
Oh god. Please never ever watch The Human Centipede.
Yeah, I don't do so well with scary movies, actually. I'm kind of a wuss.
Totally fair. Now, number 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. To go back to the like food that's bad for you, definitely ice cream. That is a big weakness of mine. My current record is 19 ice creams in a day.
Oh my god. That sounds like heaven, though.
It's also like a really, as in like I'm here at like I just finished MLP MSP. Like I'm out here at Minneapolis. Yeah. They have an ice cream store called Izzy's. And they have this thing called the Hot Dish. For $120, you can get 32 scoops of ice cream in a like custom-made like casserole dish with like Oreo cookie crumbs.
Oh my god!
And like I went there with like all my friends, and like all of them had to talk me out of getting the Hot Dish. And what's bad is that like if I got the Hot Dish, I would have devoured probably about 2/3 of that on my own.
Oh my god. That's amazing, though.
It's a little bit weird knowing that I could probably devour about $80 worth of ice cream in a single sitting.
That's. I'm just like proud of you, though. Like, that is a feat.
I really like ice cream. What can I say?
I would get brain freeze.
Oh yeah, no, you don't eat it fast. Like you gotta like let it melt in your body.
Fair enough. Now then, you filthy Canadian. Number 3. Why is bagged milk the best milk?
Answer wisely.
Bagged milk is good for if it really is a thing. Not import bagged milk or like try to like move back to bagged milk around. It's awful. So bagged milk is only good because it saves on plastic and like it just saves on space too. But it's awful if you don't have a bagged milk pitcher.
But why not just get it in paper cartons, like we do?
Yeah, why not just get paper cartons, right? Bagged milk. I'm from Western Canada. Bagged milk. But back in the day, like way back in the day, bagged milk used to be a thing in Western Canada. And so there are these things that are like, they look just like really weirdly shaped pitchers. And so what you have to do is you put the bagged milk inside the pitcher, and it fits exactly inside the pitcher, and then you snip off a corner of the bag, and then you can pour it out of the pitcher like it's as if it was in the pitcher. It's kind of weird.
I hate bagged milk with a passion. I've been informing everyone to how it works and why it's awful. It's great. It's great.
I have actually a friend who has a really odd antique object. It's apparently a bagged milk pitcher, but it's got this weird double lid on it, where the first inside lid is a funnel and the second outside lid is just a lid. And apparently what you're supposed to do is you take your bagged milk, you put it on top of the funnel, and you violently stab the bagged milk over and over again, and it just bleeds the milk into the pitcher, and it funnels into the pitcher, and then you can close the pitcher, and it saves it for it.
Milk into pitcher and put lid on pitcher. Like, why is the stabbing necessary? Is this why you guys are so nice? Is because you get all your anger?
How, like we get all our anger out through hockey and stabbing bagged milk. Oh, and also like concentrating all of the hate into an organism called the Canadian goose.
Oh, that's true. That is true. They do absorb all of your anger and hatred.
That is very true, actually.
I'm just imagining.
A scientific fact.
I'm just imagining what a Canadian purge would look like.
You're implying that we don't already put microchips in leaves.
Oh shit.
Christ.
Oh shit.
Christ.
Yes. Next question.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Number 4. What is your one annoying habit? So something that you do that annoys other people, or something that other people do that just annoys you to no end?
Oh, that's hard to say.
Are you alive? Are you dead? Waffles, are you dead?
Yeah, I'm still around.
Say you're not gonna hazard a guess as to what's annoying.
I mean, I talk too much. I'm pretty loud and obnoxious, I'd like to think.
I'm sure it could probably be frustrating at times for people to just be like, "Oh, I'm just browsing."
Oh no, that's perfectly okay. I'm perfectly okay with people just browsing. I'm honestly, I'm just happy that people are like looking at my shit at all. It's hard to say. I don't really have any like big people. Oh no, I guess when people take pictures without permission.
Ah.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no,
like,
that's fair.
If people asked me, like, I don't give a shit, like, take as many pictures as you want, but like, it's out of sheer principle that you should probably ask the person whether, like, hey, can I take a picture of this? You don't even have to explain it. Like you could try and explain it and say, like, I want to take a picture of this and show my friend. Maybe they might want it, or I think this is really cool. I want to show a person that this exists. And so I guess it's just when people just take pictures without saying anything and just walk away. I'm like, what are you gonna do with that picture? Did you take a picture of me that you're gonna like secretly tweet to and then like murder me later or something? I don't know.
Whoa, that got dark. But authentic.
Like it's the unknown factor, I guess, about it. That's just like I'm like, whoa, this random guy now has pictures of me for whatever reason I don't know about.
Totally fair. Now then, number 5. What is the theme song for your sex life?
I don't really think it exists. My problem is I don't really listen to like maybe like the Power Rangers theme song.
The Power Rangers theme song?
Go
The
Power
theme song.
Rangers!
I mean, yes, I know the song. I'm just so curious. Why?
I don't know, like sometimes you just gotta like, you know, people like a lot of people put on sexy like smooth jazz, listen to this deep voice or whatever, or like listen to like Icelandic moaning. But like,
Yes.
as essential as that would be, why not just go at it and like be energetic with the Power Rangers theme song?
If
Oh my god.
Don't tell me that doesn't get you hot and bothered.
If I had to choose a Power Ranger theme song to have sex to, it'd be the Turbo one. A lot of misses for me today.
A lot. You miss a lot, which is good because we don't want you procreating. We're moving on. That joke goes out to pencil. Now then, number 6 is the anime question. Do you watch anime by chance? We already established yes. If so, what are your favorites? Bonus points if you're a fan of Durarara.
I did enjoy Durara actually. The premise and like the what's the word? Motivations for each one of the characters is rather interesting. And the idea of, you know, the more I fight, the more powerful I become, literally, it's pretty appealing. Something about like it speaks about like our struggle to fight for like what's like for our own humanity, etc., etc. I gotta say I'm a big fan of. I know it's dumb and it's like really overrated and overdone, but I'm a big fan of the isekai genre. There's an older one called Isekai Izakaya, which is literally just a restaurant just got transported into like a weird alternate version of medieval Europe, and so people are like, "Whoa, you have pepper! You must be rich," or something like that. And that kind of you know, asymmetrical information, like that dynamic is interesting to me.
Cool. All right. Then the next question I'm going to combine. It's both from Mugany and Vylon. So it's time for questions with Vylon. Enigma, do the jingle.
It's time for questions with Vylon.
Thank you.
Come back
They
just in
asked-
time to hear that travesty. Excellent.
The question is, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. I'm not complaining. I got to relax. Have a slightly sore throat, but I'm around good friends, and I'm not starving to death. I'm a pretty happy camper.
Aw, look at you, looking at the bright side of life. Share with me your positivity, please.
You can have it, but you have to get it yourself.
Aw, man, but the couch is so comfy. Alright. Moving on now to depressing questions with Dark Angel. Hooray! Number 1. Are you truly happy with what you've done with your life?
I mean, like, in the end, like, I'm never sure if I've really done enough, but I gotta say, I probably done more good than bad. And, like, quite honestly, like, we do live in a kind of a shitty world, but we're all trying our hardest to make the world a little bit less shitty. And I think I've, you know, contributed to that. So I think I've done good, maybe not good enough, but you know, we're all trying. We're not perfect.
Well said, well said. The next question is, what is your favorite memory?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that again?
What is your favorite memory?
I've got lots of them actually. Both from like relationships, my parents, my family. So it's really hard to describe because I have different favorite moments for different reasons. Like for example, I have a dream that was actually like probably one of my earliest memories. Like it's kind of set like a old timey ragtime music. Like villain has a mustache, tied the damsel in distress to the train tracks kind of feel. Where I remember I was crying. I was in the back of a van of some sort and like there was like this evil guy trying to take me away from my home. It was my dad, by the way, the evil guy trying to take me away. But Supermom came in to save the day, and she made me happy with like a gummy candy. Yay, gummy candy! I have lots of like fond memories that are related to dreams, family, food, etc., etc. So like, there's lots of like music or food that'll set me off and like will have me kind of go back in time to like feel that nostalgic moment again. So it's hard to kind of like locate a single one, but I'm happy to provide plenty of examples if there's a type of emotion that you want me to kind of reminisce with you and share with you.
No, that was really cool. Just it's kind of your time, so whatever you wanted to talk about, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Number 3, is there one website that you visit frequently?
Oh, there's like all of the trash social media ones.
The Twitter, the Facebook.
Twitter has recently become a bad one for me. Before I was like not at all on Twitter, but now I catch myself like using it to just get a quick glance at what's going around me. YouTube is a really bad one because I like just videos playing in the background as I work, or
YouTube, huh?
Film fiction actually is one that I frequently quite often. I remember you mentioning like, oh, short skirts and explosions ask you a question. I was like, man, I wanted to tell him that like I really like his work.
Oh, that's awesome!
If he's here, then like short skirts and explosions. Hello, I really like your work. I mean, like I'm quite familiar with all of your work actually. Just don't really like to butt in and like try and vocalize myself too much, which I probably shouldn't do. I've recently been trying to go through something where I'd like to try and just say what I feel and try and compliment people as I go. So like I'd catch myself on the bus or something, and I'll notice, wow, that person has really cool earrings. So then I'll approach them and just tell them like, hey, I really like your earrings. They're really great. And I'd like walk and be like, oh, that's nice, thank you, and I'd like walk away. I always feel worried that I'd like, who's this creep walking up to this random stranger like complimenting them on their fucking earrings. But more often than not, you tend to get a pretty positive response, and like you've probably made somebody's day or week by like telling them that you're like, hey, you really appreciate like. I don't know about you, but like because of this, I've started noticing, like, wow, that person's makeup is amazing. They've probably spent like 4 hours this morning. Like, wow, they look really good. People put a lot of effort into like how they look, and I just want to acknowledge all of that hard work that people put in.
That's so cool. I had someone compliment like my shirt once, and it like made my whole day. So I can only imagine just like doing that for everyone. That's really noble. I'm happy you do that. Keep it up, man.
Keep doing the thing.
And then number 4 from Dark Angel. Yes or no? That's it. That's all the context we have.
Okay. Yes. More often than not, yes. Definitely yes. Again, part of the like me growing up trying to be an adult, I've learned that you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Hey, what if this is awful? Hey, I don't care. I'll just do it anyways. And you kind of see like that. That's kind of how I got to where I am today. Like I'm like I started vending as a joke, kind of, where I was like, man, like what if I just vended pony things? Heck, I'll just do it. Yes. And here I am today. Oops. It was all a mistake. It was all one big mistake. But here we are.
Well, as mistakes goes, we're happy to be on this bandwagon with you. Diluted Acorn is up next. Before my question, good job on your website. It's looking really good.
Oh no. Thank you, I guess. I actually think it looks really awful because I did that myself, actually, and it is not updated at all. There are so many things I haven't released on there yet.
Well, what is the address to your website?
Dakimakuradreams.com.
Hooray! Go there, buy Dakis, and do that.
Heck.
Next, his question is, what's your most anticipated game release for the year?
I don't have one, as weird as this sounds. There's a lot of sacrifices you have to make when you do as many stupid things as I do. I don't get to watch TV shows. I don't get to watch movies. I don't get to really play video games because that's too much of a time commitment because I'm way too busy with too many of my other projects at all times. So, back before I started this, back in 2009, 2010, I used to play Demon's Souls all the time.
Uh-huh.
And I remember when Dark Souls came out. It came out around my birthday. I bought Dark Souls. So, all of the Souls series, all of those, I was a big fan of Bloodborne. But, after Dark Souls 2 came out, I stopped playing video games. Because now I'm just too busy doing Dakimakura Dreams, Waffle Wishes, whatever.
Oh god, you became an adult.
I know. It's really weird because, most of my friends still play video games. In my adult, wow. I don't get to do that.
Wow. Okay.
So I know it sounds really unfortunate because I love video games. I've played I
played at least 3.
I played games over and over again until I actually speedrun. I used to speedrun regular Super Mario. Just Mario. And I could finish it in 6 minutes. That's a weird fun fact of mine that I can speedrun Mario.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Gotta get through that 4-2.
As weird as it sounds, 4-4 is actually no, sorry, 8-4 is the worst.
Oh yeah.
Because you're trying to optimize that jump off pipe, and I just never learned to do it. I just hit the hidden block and jump up there.
Holy shit! I actually know everything that you just said as far as a speedrun goes.
Sorry.
I watch too much speedrunning.
I don't have frame perfect. I mean, jumping over the piranha plants in 4-1 is technically a frame perfect thing, but those are easy frame perfect inputs. You just hold B and press A and hold A at the right time. But the actual frame perfect inputs, I can't do any of that stuff.
Oh yeah. If you could, you'd be probably streaming right now and not doing pony art.
Yeah.
All right. As for questions, Lone Trooper is up next, and he forgot to post his questions. Thank you, dude. Now, Tech G Fennec is up next. Fennec is actually kind of new to the cast as far as it goes.
Oh, Fennec.
But Fennec is cool, nevertheless, and we're happy to have their questions. He starts by saying, here are some Pride-themed questions. Number 1, what is your proudest moment in the fandom, and what would you have done differently? I think that's 2 separate questions, actually. What's your proudest moment in the fandom, and what would you have done differently as far as making...
what would I have done differently part?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done anything differently. If I did anything differently, I wouldn't be where I am right now. And
Aww.
grateful to be here with you guys. In terms of what's my proudest single moment, I don't think there's a single moment, but I think there was a weird realization. I think both mid 2017 and mid 2013, where for 2013, it's when I first started vending, quote unquote, and I was a stupid 16, 17-year-old kid, or 18. I don't know how old I was. This is a while ago, and I accidentally made $1,000 like from vending, and I was like, I don't deserve any of this money. And then like it hit me one more time at around 2017 where, whoa, if I just do every single convention, I could just quit my job and just do this full time.
And now here you are.
Yeah, that's what I've done. Like early, like around right before BabsCon, I quit my job, and I'm gonna try doing this full time for a whole year. It's not looking too awful. I'm not too poor, but at the same time, like it's just like nonstop work. There's a realization that like, oh, I guess like the strange realization for me is both I have somebody who works for me full time now. If I don't do well, this person will legitimately go hungry and homeless. And that's suddenly stress that I realized that I didn't need. But at the same time, like I'm kind of proud because, you know, like because of me, like this artist can, you know, just do what they love and draw all day, do like they were in a pretty like bad situation before, and now like I recently met up with them last month, and they're like all of my health problems went away, and I'm like, whoa. And they're like, I might be getting married soon. And I was like, whoa. And that's scary, but also like a proud moment of like I feel like a dad almost. Like I take care of my children or whatever, but I'm like, man, I can't have children. Like I can barely take care of myself. I can't be responsible for another human being. But I realize that I already am, and that's I guess kind of a proud moment of me, like realizing that like I would probably make an okay dad because I would probably do like everything I can to make sure that my child is, you know, happy.
This is when we learn you're basically Michael Scott from The Office. Oh man, swing and a miss from me. Sorry. All right.
No, I know who he is, but like I have no idea who. Like, I guess he's like the dad. He's like the weird uncle, if anything.
Yeah. Number 2 is, what do you consider to be the best thing you've ever made?
There's oh man, it's hard to say because there's just like so many things made, like not only art wise, but like stupid things wise as well. I suppose probably like one of the more, if we're talking about Dakis, probably one of the more newer Dakis. I think the Kirin, Sorin, or maybe Shining Armor for the Dakis. Because there's like a lot of weird little extra hidden details and Easter eggs that I don't tell people about in a lot of the things.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, like I'm super proud of Armor. Excuse me. Mostly because he's been a long time coming, actually. There's a story behind this. I'm excuse me while I rant.
No, please.
Early 2017, I went to PonyCon, New Jersey, and I met a married couple, and they bought a Cadence Dakimakura, and you know, and that was really cool. And then they asked me for and they told me that they actually got that for their anniversary. Like they were married for I think about a year, and they were getting it for their anniversary present. And so they actually asked me, like, do you have a Shining Armor? I said, no, I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, darn, we'd really like to get one. So since that moment in January 2017, I immediately started started working on a Shining Armor without telling anybody. And so I decided to pose the Shining Armor exactly like how Cadence is posed, actually, so that they kind of make a matching pair.
Aww.
And you won't ever notice it until like you see it right next to each other, and then I tell you about it, because even if you put them next to each other, you won't really notice. But like And then I released it probably like late 2018, and I gave it. I mailed one to them as a third anniversary present. And they messaged me saying like, "Oh, this means so much to us and everything," and that was like a real proud moment of mine, I think, in terms of doing a cool thing for people.
That's so cool.
So in terms of like being proud of something that I made, and having it mean a lot, it was definitely the Shining Armor that I specifically made for that married couple in New Jersey. Apparently, they actually went. I feel really bad actually, because they later on messaged me, like about a month and a half ago, saying, "Hey, are you going to Everfree Northwest? We'll be there." And I was like, "Oh, I'm at BLFC at the same time." And I felt really bad for missing them because they mentioned something about getting a Canadian pillow from me because I mentioned having custom Canadian pillows for specifically Cadence. Actually, it was a weird thing a long time ago. It's no longer a thing. I still got the pillow to them, but like it was just kind of like I was a little upset that I didn't actually get to meet them on the West Coast because they drove all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast for Everfree.
Holy crud! Holy crud! That's a lot of driving.
Yeah, like so, like imagine being told like, "Hey, I'm driving," and then you're like, "Crap, I'm not there."
Oh,
I felt kind of bad.
I understandably so. Well, then the next question that we have is number 3. If you had one chance of convincing me to read, to buy one of your products, what would you say?
I actually don't like to push sales on anybody or anything like that. I have my like ridiculous thing like displays so that you know it exists. But for the most part, like I don't say to people, "Hey, you should buy this thing; it'll make your life better." I just kind of sit there and play with my cards and just like and just try and have a good time with friends. Like, "Hey, you want to see some magic?" Or then people ask like, "Oh, how come this is expensive?" I'm like, "Actually, it's made out of an expensive material. Here, feel this." They're like, "Oh, wow, it's super soft." And so like I try to just as weird as it sounds, like I kind of appeal to the more quote luxury unquote side of the market.
Mhm.
If you do notice, everything that I do make tends to be much more expensive than everybody else's stuff. But I'm always willing to pay like extra money to make sure that like the thing that I make is something I can be proud of, and I can say I put my absolute highest amount of effort into making sure that it's the best thing that I could make for you guys. Which is like a bit of a shame, but at the same time, like I don't know, like I just like having nice things and want to make sure that you guys have nice things too. So for the most part, I don't try and push sales on people. My product tends to just speak for itself.
See, this is why we have nice things. Is because you make wonderful. Number 4. How do you try to handle criticism, or like what's some of the most toxic criticism that you've gotten?
I don't know. It usually doesn't affect like I mean early on when I first started making Dakis, people are like, "How could you do this to them? Like how can you do this?" And like this, you're making sex pillows, and I'm like, "What?" And so for me, it's always just been an uphill battle of just trying to explain to me that this is a regular thing to me. And I understand that a lot of people can't get over that. And quite frankly, I just respect the decision to like go like, actually, I have my morals. I can't accept this, and that's fine. It's a little frustrating to me that like people don't understand my culture, quote unquote.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're all just human, and we have our ideas of right and wrong. So I don't know. You can call me fat and ugly, and I'd probably be like, yeah, I'm pretty fat and ugly.
Oh, now I just want to like give you a hug and be like, "It's okay, man. I feel the same."
Have you seen me? I look like a potato.
Hell yeah, man! Potatoes rule.
Yeah.
I am also in the potato zone, so
Oh, yeah.
I feel you. I feel you. Number 5 from Fennec is if you went to Equestria and you, through absolute happenstance, ended up in an isolated place with your waifu, what would you do to make them fall for you?
I wouldn't do anything to make them fall for me. I think I would just try and genuinely tell them that, hey, I'm really infatuated with you. I think you're beautiful. And like honestly, they could do with that what they will. I'm not. I don't know. I'd like to think I tend to be pretty easygoing and like want to go with the flow. There's. I guess I have some of my own ambitions. So you see, with like going to Equestria and like finding your relationship, for me, quite frankly, it's quite difficult for me to start a relationship right now, because I'm homeless 8 months out of the year. I travel like nonstop. It would be super unfair to me to try and be a good partner to anybody else, and
Right.
like I'm trying to be upfront and real about it. Like, hey, I think you're really attractive. I would love to start a relationship with you. Here's why I don't think it'll be good. But if you're willing to push past that, then I would love to start this with you. So I'd probably just approach her and be real about it. Like, hey, like I really think you're attractive, and I love what you do or whatever. Like assuming that's like my favorite pony Octavia. It's like I love music, classical music, in particular is a weak spot of mine. And just being a classy, well put together human being, I think it's like pony, I guess. Being is just attractive to me because like I'm a mess. Like you can adult way better than I can, and I think that's heckin' attractive.
Heck yeah. I like it. Now then, Jammer is up next. We already kind of covered his number one of why Dakimakura. So, number two, do you feel like there's anything that just doesn't belong on a Daki? So, I mean, you could probably make a case for just about anything on a Daki. Like, you could probably go, like, Barney the dinosaur. Oh, yeah, no, kids would love to hug Barney. And
Standard illegal things, like morally acceptable and questionable things, probably.
Yeah. Like, you probably wouldn't want to put a murdered corpse on a Daki.
Yeah, probably not. Well, like the point. The point of me doing all of this actually is just for like, I really hate a lot of things that are uncomfortable. I just want to be as comfortable as I can all the time.
Yeah.
So like, I want everything for maximum comfort. if your waifu being on that pillow like comforts you and like makes it a little bit better, knowing that you can like hold your waifu and like feel safe, then great, that's amazing. I'll have my shit posts or whatever, like with like the stick figure or whatever. But like, if like mangled corpse on the pillow will make you feel more comfortable, then sure, whatever. There's no bad way to fantasize, and I'm not gonna kink shame you or whatever, because everybody has the thing that they're like.
Man,
but
really well said.
For the most part, like I think you can make the argument that I think that most mangled corpses would make people feel pretty uncomfortable. So like I don't think that really belongs on a pillow. But if you really want one, and that's kind of why I did do this. Like why I do so many customs, because people have that thing that they want to be comforted by, and I want to provide that comfort. I want I started making clothes. I made like pajama pants and pajama shirts, and they're super comfy. And I'm like, wow, like it's so nice for me to just like lay here in my pile of pillows and like smooth silky pajama pants. So like again, like everything I want, everything I make is just is like designed with comfort in mind, and just like, hey, just like we get it, you're stressed, there's so much going on. Relax, have a seat on this couch, wrap yourself up in a blanket, like hold a few pillows and like hold a plushie. Yeah, like, and I joke that like I don't do this for you guys. I do this to be comfortable in my booth. But it's I just like being comfortable, and that's what I really want to share with people, and I want people to be comfortable around me too.
So that actually transitions really distressingly into the next question. where Jammer's asking if you're aware about the OC Thingpone.
OC Thingpone? I'm sorry?
Yeah, so Thingpone is an OC based on John Carpenter's The Thing. And so there's probably one of the pictures that we most famously always share. But there's also a bunch of other cuter pictures, such as this one.
Yeah.
What do you think of Thingpone? Would you hug them, kiss them goodnight, tell them every little thing's going to be all right? But the fourth question here is, would you make a Thingpone Daki?
So I would definitely hug, hold it, kiss it goodnight, because every being deserves love and affection. And quite frankly, I think it's pretty cute. But even if it was horrifying, what if like it was just screaming and everything because so many things are horrified by it, and therefore reject it.
Mm-hmm.
Like what if Thingpo needs some love too? So I would definitely be open to be one of the first to just kind of approach it with a hug and tell it that like, hey, like you deserve love too.
Aww.
As for would I make a Thingpon Daki? If people want it, then I can make it. That's the whole point. I can make custom anything.
Custom Dakis.
Heck.
Would you penis it though?
If people want it, I guess.
Put your penis inside of it.
Oh, put my penis inside of it. I don't know. Like I'm the kind of person who would want to have a relationship first. If we talk for a little bit and then some things click, potentially. I don't know.
There you go.
Interesting.
It's hard for me to like stick my dick in things without prejudice. I don't know. Like I'm a gross emotional person.
No,
That's
I'm
fine. Nothing wrong with that.
I'm a gross mess of emotions myself, so I feel you.
Heck.
So number 4, has the disappointment kicked in yet?
What disappointment?
Ooh, good answer.
No, like what disappointment? Like what are they talking about? And
it's one of those kind of open-ended questions. They didn't provide any sort of like context.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm not disappointed by anything so far.
Hooray! Now the final question that we have that's been submitted from our users is: have any of the questions today bothered you?
None of them.
Hooray! Now then, we've reached about the end of the cast. What do you have kind of coming up right now? Are you going to BronyCon? Do you have any cool projects in the works?
Yeah, actually, speaking of cool projects, there are these cool people at the at this thing called the Barcast.
Wow, I was actually not trying to push you to plug that.
A Flutter Priest and enigmatic otaku have all contributed stories, and I'm planning on trying to lay out all of the stories and try to put them into regular print as books. And so we could sell the books around, and because quite frankly, I think that fan fiction is it's one of the biggest things that I consume in this community, anyways. Because you see art everywhere and people sell the art, but like I feel like fan fiction is not something that's greatly appreciated in terms of a physical sense at all. So I've decided to like just print out fan fiction and like sell it. I don't really care about the money that much. There also isn't that much money to be made in printed books, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to note that like all of the money that I will be making off of this project, I'm actually donating to a charity. It's called. May I just plug this charity? Is that okay?
Yeah, no, go for it.
It's called the Zajac Ranch for Children. It's a horse ranch actually, out based in British Columbia. It's in Canada, of course, but like I donate to that one mostly because it's difficult for me as a Canadian to donate to American charities without making it look like a really weird like tax laundering thing. Right. Excuse me for not donating to your horse ranch.
No worries.
I also have a horse ranch that I donate to.
No, that's totally fair.
If you do want to, I'll quickly give you guys a link if you'd like.
Hell yeah, we'll post it so that way our Canadian friends can share it around.
Well, your Canadian friends can also like donate it to your American ones, but like me owning a business just makes it look really weird. But here's Jack Ranch. They do great stuff. They've recently been got a school bus with the money that we've recently raised, so they can actually like pick up some of the disabled children to actually bring them to the camp. So it's really great.
Oh, for a second, I thought move the horses around in the bus.
Oh man, that'd be. Imagine like a school bus actually being pulled by horses. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome.
All right. But are you going to BronyCon? Is there anything that you're excited about there?
Oh, there's so much. So there's something really stupid that I'm doing. There's a few other people that are also doing it with me, and I think we're all really stupid and shouldn't do it. There's a chat. It's called the Dumb Convention Trips for Dumb Convention Bitches. There's six of us here, I think, where the plan is to go to TrotCon, drive from TrotCon to New York, like after TrotCon's done, fly from New York to England, drive from England to Germany for GalaCon.
Oh my
drive
God.
back from Germany to England, fly from England to New York, drive from New York to Baltimore for BronyCon. I'm not done yet.
Oh
Drive
my
from
God.
BronyCon down south to Florida, where we're gonna have some Disney and like have some fun. And also, there's another convention there. It's a furry convention called Megaplex. Maybe do Megaplex, and then from there, people are splitting. Somebody's going to Australia for Alicon, straight from Megaplex. I'm actually flying back to Germany again, and I'm doing Eurofurence. And then right after Eurofurence, I'm driving to the Czech Republic for Czechwestria.
And then prepping for Russia.
And then after that, prepping for Russia.
Oh my God.
So
Do you have enough cons in your life, my dude?
I'm doing 44 this year.
Heck. But
Yeah.
hey, it's your full-time deal, so I don't think anyone will judge you for that.
This is the only year I'm doing it full time. Like after this year, I fully intend on just going back to like finding a regular job again and being a regular human being, because I actually get my degree October, so that'll be perfect timing.
Heck yeah! Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Congrats, man.
Well, that said, that's pretty much almost all the time we have. Is there any parting words you'd like to leave us on? Go ahead and promote yourself. Roll out the red carpet for yourself, my man.
Well, hi, I'm Waffles. I run Waffle Wishes or Dakimakura Dreams. Sure, I'll plug myself. It's dakimakuradreams.com. The website's kind of messy. You don't have to buy anything, but like, please just send me a message. Like, I believe my Discord. There's a email us. Like, hit me up with a message thing on my website. I'm just happy to talk to random strangers, and like the fact that people put in the effort to look at my stuff just makes me super happy, because there's a lot of stuff out there on the internet. The internet's massive, and you decided to take 15 minutes out of your day to look at my hot garbage, and like whether you buy it or not, like I'm just happy to have friends around, and I'm happy to just talk about the hot garbage I make, because man, there's so many like weird little details in every single little thing I make that like I could just like yell at you about design for like an hour. It's really bad actually. Yeah, no, I'm just happy that you guys are around, and thank you for having me here.
Oh, of course, my
You're
friend.
welcome. Thank you for coming on.
We're very excited to see you at BronyCon, and if we see you around, we'll make sure we bring you a hot dog at the booth, or
Please,
sneak you a beer or some whiskey.
The last time I asked for food while I was at BronyCon, I got 3 boxes of cereal and like 4 hot dogs and a burger. It was. And the thing is, like, I feel bad getting food like that and not eating it. So like, I will take any food that you get just for me, like, and I will eat it right in front of you, all of it. Like, it's kind of horrifying, but like, I feel like a sense of obligation to have to like finish the whole thing in front of you, to show you how much I appreciate you getting it for me.
Well, then we'll have to get you a pint of ice cream.
Please don't do that. Please don't bring me a pint of ice cream.
No, we'll get you a
Because
gallon.
I will eat that whole thing in front of you, and it's not pretty.
Well, thank you so much, Waffles. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you for having me here.
And for everyone watching out in the chat, be sure to tune in next week when we have Narrator Pony, who, you may not believe this, narrates pony stories.
Oh.
He's a good friend, and we're happy to finally have him on the cast. But until next week, your bartenders for this evening have been a non-pencil,
Thanks.
Enigmatic Otaku,
What?
Milk,
Is my nap time over?
Ravage,
Enigma stole my gimmick.
an amazing guest, Waffles.
Eh.
And my name's Flutter Priest. Buy my book. See you next week!
Fucking priest, you shill.